Good morning. Oh, yeah. I did well today. Okay. It's been suggested to me to take out to ask people to silent cell phones. If you have them with you. Your seat's up front here. You want to take a seat and then we'll get started. All right. And as usual, we'll begin with a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. And the next thing is always introducing new residents, and we do have one with us today. Sue Norris has arrived here not long ago from Sharon, Connecticut, living up on Sunrise Ridge. Stand up and wave. She's invited in the dining room, so when you see her, stop her and introduce yourself. Okay, next thing would ordinarily be administrative update, but it's not on the agenda today because Jane had an unfortunate accident on Monday and is not with us, other than I'm told she's with us via Zoom. We just can't see her. She's here, but not to do a report. She's hoping to be back tomorrow, and beyond that, I have no details. So we're going to skip over that one, and the next one would be Brian with dining update. No, Brian. Okay. How about marketing? I think I saw Eric. Eric is here.
Good morning, everybody. Okay. Is Kevin here too, Sarah? Okay. Hi, Kevin. Okay, so I'll let them update you on the progress of the wait list, but it's exciting news. And then I'll just say that we're still at 100% occupancy. We do have an apartment coming open to us on November 9th, but we're hoping to reserve it before November 9th so that we remain at 100% occupied. So good news all around. We do have one move-in next week. That'll be to apartment T12. I'll let Kevin talk more about that. And then we have 2 in November and 1 in December, and that'll close out the year for us. And then we already have 2 more on the books for 2025. So moving right along. I wanted to talk briefly about We Care Connect. I know that you all get We Care Connect probably more than you even want to. I know it's quite often, but we do look at each and every one of those We Care Connects. Jan, myself, Wendy, Noelle, we all look at those and we try to respond to any of your concerns. And it's so important that you take it, even if it feels like, repetitive, or you're wondering if it's just going out into the void. It's not. We're looking at them. We're addressing your concerns as we can. So please, please, please do not skip the call or the email when you get it. If you get a We Care Connect survey, it really helps us if you take it. So thank you in advance for continuing to do that. I wanted to talk about an initiative that I just kind of got percolating this morning. So it's still in the works, but we have not done an IL inventory in a really long time. So starting the week of November 4th, probably going through the 15th, I'm going to be reaching out to folks to take a look just very briefly inside your home because we don't know what we have. So it'll be very brief, probably less than 10 minutes. But we really appreciate if you will let us in. We will not linger long. And I'll tell more about that when I have more details. Yes.
What do you mean by see what we have because you don't know?
So we don't know how many Four Seasons sunrooms we have, We don't know how many, I mean, we do, but things have changed with construction over the years. So we don't know how many, let's say, finished basements we have. We don't know some of the construction that some of you all have done. And this is not to like be on a witch hunt about anything or anything like that. It's just for me to have an updated inventory of what we actually have. So physical inventory, yeah. So like I said, I'll have a checklist. We'll go in very briefly. Yep, 4-season sunroom. Yep, 3-season sunroom. This really helps us to price accordingly in the new year, and that sort of thing. So that's what the purpose of doing this. Any other questions on that front? Okay. Some of you have signed up for trunk or treat. The deadline for that was October 12th, but I'll still allow you to do it if there's any interest. Otherwise, if there's not, I will say thank you to the folks that have donated candy for that. That's been extremely helpful. And just be mindful on October 25th in the front parking lot in the evening. We're going to have a lot of kiddos running around here, so please just be careful with your cars and make sure you're not, driving erratically. Not that that's a problem. But the other thing too I wanted to talk about was the Christmas parade. Because you all were not enthusiastic about doing it last year, I'm not going to make you do it this year, but we are doing it. So the theme for this year is Parade of Lights. If anybody has Christmas lights that they no longer use and they want to donate to this float that's going to be miraculous that we put together, please drop them off at my office. But don't buy any. We have plenty, but if you have some that you just like brought with you from when you moved here and you're never going to use Christmas lights again, we'll take them. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly is some of you have asked to see cottages. So this is just for current residents that live, any resident can participate, but specifically residents that live in apartments had asked to see some cottages. So what I thought I would do is around the holidays, I would like to show 2 cottages on Sunrise Ridge and 2 cottages on Sycamore, and then do a tour of Borden and Webster. Some of you really enjoyed that as well when we did it in the spring. So kind of just going back in Borden and Webster, taking a tour there, and then kind of getting a peek inside of 2 cottages. The thing I'm asking you all to consider is if you decorate for the holidays and you'd be open to let me show your home to current residents only, I would love to do that. So please let me know. Any questions on that? And then the last thing is the 25th anniversary kicks off on January 23rd. We're going to have 6 months of festivities. And so thank you to all of those that are on the committee and all of those that have helped kind of volunteer so far. I have another committee meeting next week where I'll have more updates to share with those folks. But I just wanted you to be aware that it is starting in January and going through July. So we're looking forward to that. And I'll share more with you once I finalize a couple more dates. So any questions before I turn it over to Sarah and Kevin? Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, so thank you so much for opening your homes and letting our tours and triads see your homes, for meeting everyone and being so friendly. Just wanted to give an update on where tours and triads have been from in the last 30 days or since our last meeting. Lexington, Virginia, of course. McLean, Virginia. Williamsburg, Virginia. Keene, New Hampshire. Lost City, West Virginia. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Marina Del Rey, California. And Newberry Park, California.
And those tours and triads have resulted in some new additions to our wait list. Since the last Residents Association meeting, we've added 4 new wait list members, and they are from Marina Del Rey, California, Blythewood, South Carolina, Newberry Park, California, and Hilton Head, South Carolina. So, continuing to attract folks from all over the country. That brings us to 39 year to date. Our goal for this year was to add 30 new waitlist members. So we're doing pretty well at 39 in October. That brings us to a total of 205 on the wait list, 61 of whom are on the ready list. something that Sarah and I are seeing more and more is now people are joining the wait list, not 10 years in advance, but around the time they'd like to move here. So we're gonna do our best to accommodate them. I'm telling people now, it's like, could be 3 to 5 year wait, depending on the floor plan that you want, because we are full. But again, thank you for all that you do in helping us market the community and show off the apartments and the cottages. We do have that one new move-in that Erica mentioned, Carol and Bob Johnson, moving here from Henrico, Virginia. They will be moving to apartment T12. Their closing is actually next week, Thursday, but their moving truck doesn't come until the week after that. So, but by Halloween, there will be new residents in apartment T12. That's it for marketing. Thank you.
Ryan, you want to do your reporting?
All right, I do apologize for the delay. It's okay. We can go back or not go back. My mask is preventive. We have a head cold going on today, so I am COVID negative. Just trying to be careful and cautious to our staff and to our residents. So I just want to go over a few things. Primarily, there's been some concerns recently over our department, and I just wanted to let everybody know we are currently interviewing a lot of people, so that way we can get our staffing up as needed. And I know there's been some residents that have expressed the concerns is that. So we are currently being very selective in the process and making sure that we have proper candidates with proper backgrounds, and it's taking a little bit longer. So if you see us running around a little bit, I do apologize for that delay. That's part of the process there today. Also, most of you know that we had a chef, and then he is no longer with the company. We also have also been interviewing a chef, and then we think we have selected another executive chef. So that's super exciting for us. Again, going through the proper process, going through the proper channels, and we will keep you updated as far as it goes. Third item of conversation that comes across my table a lot, or in conversation, is Mark and Jenny. And I want to let you know that Mark and Jenny are still here. Mark and Jenny saw you through COVID, and they are participating in just about every meal that you eat. So I just want you to know, for those that know who Chef Mark and Chef Jenny are, they are very critical, extremely critical to our food service operation. And I just want to clarify that. I'm extremely grateful for their service to you. They love this community very much, just like I do. And I will do whatever I can to keep them here. So just so you know, there's been a little side chatter. Where's Mark? Where's Jenny? Oh, trust me, they're here. We've just been so busy lately with staffing and other things. They don't necessarily pop out and say hello as much as they used to, but they are still here and very, very active and helping me to feed you and feed our community. So that's pretty much the updates that I have. We're working on our fall menu, so you're going to start to see more hearty soups. Hopefully that complies with the weather. It's a nice cool day today, but you're going to start to see some more pastas and meatloafs and hearty soups and stews and things like that over the next few weeks. And then we'll keep you updated as we transition into Thanksgiving and Christmas. We'll keep you updated because we're still planning on having a Thanksgiving meal, Christmas meal, things like that, but we'll keep you updated. I do have a couple minutes for questions, but I do want to be respectful of time for the next group. So if there's any questions, please, I can field a few questions. Yes.
Are you going to talk about the new system that they're implementing?
Yes. So we have a new system. The new system that we have is called Cubico. And so the Cubico system is the system that you see that has actually replaced the cash register. So for the most part, for what you see, it functions the same way. Now, from an accounting perspective, it works a lot better for us because now we can actually do live reports. It does much better work as far as counting your points when you're doing your meal plans and it's subtracting it. So we can actually do live reports. So that's a lot better. But we're also utilizing that in our restaurant. So we're able to order off of that, print the tickets, then hopefully in the next couple of weeks as you're in the restaurant, be able to have like an itemized bill. So we do have that available, but getting it to print and to hand it to you like we did, we're still working on that part of it, but a lot of those systems are in place. We do have two industry experts. Chef Christian is out with us today. We also have Laurel. She's also training us in that system too. So we're going to continue with that. But as far as front facing, you might start to see maybe in December or January, we're going to have a kiosk where you can actually order off of things like for the grill. So they're still in development of that, and that would be literally swiping your card, and then your information would pop up. So we're about a month out on that. We're still working on that. So if people ask you about, or they look at your plate, don't be offended by that. What do you have? The dinner or to go? Nothing's changed, but again, we're starting to look at that. So that'll help us with our inventory things. Yes, hopefully that answered that.
What's the status of the restaurant?
Oh, we are open this week. So we had to do some reservations, some staffing issues last week. We are open this week. We do have a full house tonight and tomorrow. We are taking reservations for next week. But again, I apologize. I was out of town last week and I'm not able to help with the restaurant. So that was part of the problem last week. So, okay. I think probably one or two more questions. All right, well, thank you for your time. If you don't know where my office is, we're right across from the elevator on the main, the next floor down, where our food is. Sorry. I still get mixed up for this level, that level, terrace level, right? This level is called that level. And don't get me on the third floor, because some of those doors aren't even marked in the right direction. So when I the other day, I was like 301, 302, 39, 314, 37. What is going on here? So if you ever want to have a fun time, track down somebody's room in the 300 upstairs, try to go in numerical order, and yeah, it's just do it before 5 p.m. So anyways, have a good day today, and I just want to resolve some concerns. Something I promised this community last year as far as transparency, and I'm trying to continue with that since after Judy left, like I said, but I want to be open and honest with you. It might not always be the right answer or the answer that you want, but I will be honest with you and be truthful. So thank you.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I've got a list here. I'll go down and just give you some updates, then hopefully take a few questions at the end. Depending on where you do your walkabouts, you probably already know the South Carpet project is ongoing. 3 of the 4 levels are almost complete. There's a couple little patches and repairs and glue downs they have to do, but 3 of the 4 have them down. They're all the way down, working on ground level now. A little longer than we thought, and a whole lot more floor repairs than we thought. But that was a known risk, and I told them, don't worry about a change order, do it right, and we'll worry on the changes to schedule and contract later. And Jan and Felicia both signed off on that. So far, I've been very happy with it. We're moving back some of the furniture and equipment today. Just bear with us as things get put back in place as that goes on. The Washington and Lee Student Wayfinding Project is underway. That won't be wrapped up till April. I just bring it up because you may see students walking around measuring, sketching, doing things like that here. About once a week or so they visit. We are in the middle of a round of some fall plantings. We have 3 orders out with different nurseries. One order arrived and was planted. One order arrived yesterday and I think is being planted today. One order is off in nebulous credit card order land and hasn't showed up yet. And then we also have an open ticket with Ruth Huffman, who's redoing the plantings in front of Borden. She's waiting on the plant she ordered for that to arrive. But I think most of those you'll probably see in the next week, maybe 2 weeks, as the season and the different nurseries get us taken care of on that. Mowing season, well, we've had some turnover in grounds. We have 2 folks right now. We've had about 50% turnover in that crew. We have a third who I think is starting next week or a week and a half out. We'll be back up to 3 with that. We're about at the end of mowing season and we'll soon be into the leaf picking up season. And our brush hogging, the places where we're going to do the twice-a-year brush hogging is scheduled to start in November. One spot went early this year is you come in Kendall Drive. If you look at that northeast corner between Kendall and Spring Lot, you'll notice to the left of that trail, we mowed that down early. That is because the Sunrise Ridge utility repair project, the contractors that Wayne is a huge fan of and really likes those guys, right? Have now put in 5 different missed utility tickets for us to go out and mark and map everything. And then they don't show, and then that ticket expires and we have to do it again. We now got our 5th missed utility ticket to go do all that. In that area that was mowed, if you look, there's a hydrant down there and then 2 utility boxes. A bunch of the markings are right through that tall grass. And our risk tolerance for them digging correctly is very low. So we mowed the grass to highlight to make sure everything could be seen clearly so they don't cut something else next time they show up. But that trail, will be reestablished. It is part of our twice-a-year brush hogging. We just did that one area a little early, just to let y'all know. I don't have an update on the elevator. Took our money. They said the parts are there. They won't call me back. They won't schedule anything. We've now made it to CEO to CEO. So Jan calls and yells at their boss's boss. And I don't have any results to that yet. So Jan, if you're out there, feel free to make some calls. Webster Dining. Johnson Controls showed up, I think, for the 3rd time yesterday to put in the correct new sprinkler heads in there. This time they fit. They got the right parts this time. We should be wrapping up that project and having that open. Our goal is by the end of the day on Friday. So the Webster Dining Room portion. Doors, we continue to have some punch list items to work with on the door project. The Anderson front doors, if you walk by, sometimes it is open and welcoming, right? When it should be closed and need the button. They've been back several times to work on that. It's just a do out to get the electronics working correctly. The north building, 100 level far doors, all the way at the end to go out. Took almost 2 years and 8 companies have been here, 8 companies. Those handicap opener doors now work. That's the first time in forever. So please go push the buttons. Literally almost 2 years and 8 different companies came here and said, well, I can't fix this. This is a disaster. So we found somebody who figured it out. Our HVAC switchover, Dave and Cole and I met, looked at the magic 8 ball and the weather forecast, and we're probably doing our switchover in the common areas here next week. There's still several days forecast next week that are up in the high 70s. And if we shut off the air conditioner and go to full boiler, some of the staff will spontaneously combust and yell. So we're waiting. Yes, Eric is back there nodding. Right? So we're waiting a little bit longer. Most of y'all's areas are okay. Those are not on the 2-pipe system, and you can heat and cool as needed. Insulation, again, related to the weather. So now that employees won't die when I send them up in the attic and it's 200 degrees up there. We've slowly resumed our insulation project to add insulation to the attics where it's needed. We're up to about 58,000 square feet of attics have been re-insulated here, or insulated correctly, about 15% of our total square footage, so pretty good then. Kendall Hall Curtain, also probably about a year and a half we've been trying to find somebody. We have a company who gave us a quote, sent us sample materials, so we may actually have a curtain to buy from someone to replace the aging curtain here behind me. We're getting some color suggestions from one of the resident committees, and I'll be able to act on that shortly. The fire marshal was here about a week and a half ago. pretty much all the time the fire marshal's here. He was following up on 8 issues from his previous visit. We were cleared on all 8 of 8. But as he walked down somewhere, he pointed to that and said, "Hey, what's that?" And he wrote up one additional for us. That was corrected on the 9th, so we have a clean bill of health from the fire marshal again. They're here all the time, but it's become pretty easy. Most of the things they're pointing out are either already fixed or easy fixes. So far, so good on that process. And the last thing on my list is we continue to struggle a little bit with some plumbing issues. We've had recurring, I won't say flooding into the apartment, but backing up into fixtures at a couple locations. We found problems inside the way it was constructed, and today we got in there and actually cut apart some lines again to get in there. And the 2-inch line was down to about a 1/2 inch of clear space, primarily due to what looks like bacon grease. So we sent out the reminder not long ago. Please take a look at that and only put down the drains what should go down the drains. I pointed out before, usually the folks who do that, it's some poor person downstream who pays the price for it. It never seems to back up exactly where the problem is coming from. So please be respectful to your neighbors and follow the guidelines of what can and cannot go down the drains and through the garbage disposal. And that is my list. I'll take a couple questions if we have some time. Yes, sir.
Is Kendall Hall and the remainder of the second floor scheduled for recarpeting?
The question was, is Kendall Hall and the rest of the second floor common areas out here scheduled for carpeting? That is not a 24 project, and it's not on the list for 25. So we're trying to generate a 5-year plan for capital and budget purposes. It's a recognized need, but it's not in the immediate list of things next. It's next up, it just won't be right away. Any other questions for me? Okay, thanks, y'all.
All right, well, since Todd did mention it, I'll give a quick update on Sunrise Ridge. Since it has been a little bit of a struggle coordinating our efforts up there. Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like I'm not talking to this. So up on Sunrise Ridge, we've got 2 different vendors we're working with up there. We've got Net 100, they're the fiber guys, and then we've got Comcast. Comcast has pretty much fulfilled their part at this time. A few cottages we had to run coax cables on top of the ground. That's what Todd's referring to. We're having to, it's kind of awkward because we're having to mow around those and those kinds of things. The reason they're still there is because we were waiting on Net 100. The agreement before with them was, we're just going to dig one trench, put the fiber and the coax in together just like they were before. So speaking to them yesterday, they're telling me, no, we just want to fix the problem where it is. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with getting the coax cables trenched in. Net 100 will be here tomorrow and Friday, and they're going to do what's called like a rotting process where they go in these conduits and do a rotting process and find out exactly where the fiber is damaged, and then they repair it on the spot. So sorry for the confusion and the delay in getting this done. It's just they've given us some some excuses about weather and things around Harrisonburg where they're out of that's slowing them up getting here. So anyway, that's the latest update for Sunrise Ridge, and hopefully I'll have better news to tell you after tomorrow and Friday. But I had sent out a message earlier on. We were having some trouble with the Lexington WPN network, and I sent out a message to the entire campus, so that was resolved. I should have excluded you folks up on Sunrise Ridge that are experiencing internet outage because of the cut. You will continue to experience that outage until we have the fiber repaired. So just wanted to bring clarity to that. And again, I'm sorry that didn't exclude you initially from that communication about getting the Lexington WPN fixed. So while we're talking communications, TV is on that list. I've been a little frustrated since I've been here with Comcast, and I know a lot of you have been equally as frustrated. One of the things, we finally had a pretty good meeting with Comcast. And, you know, we're able to express, you know, the troubles that we've been having, et cetera. And one of the things that they want to do, is go through our campus again. Many of you here may have already went through this process, but Comcast, came out a few years ago before I came. And they went through and they replaced your cable boxes. So many of you, I guess, are aware of that. Many of you aren't, you're newer folks, but, they want to do that again because what I've witnessed since I've been here is we have multiple different models of cable boxes. And every time I get into communication with these guys, trying to explain to them, you know, what we have, what we're working with, you know, they're telling me, oh, that's the wrong box, or, you know, these different answers. So I said, well, we need to get rid of that. You know, we need to level the playing field. And if our boxes are outdated, then we need to get them all updated. So that's, and we weren't going to initially share this at this RA meeting because this is a tentative schedule. We still got a few questions that they need to answer for us before we nail this down. But we wanted to go ahead and share it with you, you know, just in case this does come to fruition, this schedule, if we can get our questions answered. What we're looking at November 5th, 6th, 7th, and then the following week on the 12th, 13th, and 14th. That's a lot of work because we're coming around the entire campus and, you know, entering everybody's home, replacing their cable box. Now, one of the questions that we had was, if you're going, if we're going to do this, we need to make sure that we have DVR capable boxes that we're installing, because many of you have DVR service or recording. Initially, they said no. We installated, you know, basic boxes that wouldn't have that capability. So we said that's not going to work for us. So again, you know, we've got to get that answered. I don't know right now, you know, whether that's you have DVR service and you're happy with your cable box, and we just leave you as is, and we move on to the next. So that's one of the questions that, you know, we're trying to work through right now with Comcast. But again, this is a tentative schedule. I haven't nailed it down yet, but just wanted to let you know this could happen on these dates. And again, we would need access, you know, into your home so we could get access to your boxes and swap them out. And this, of course, would help, you know, improve services from Comcast, delivery of the TV services to you. I'm missing anything, please.
You know, we'll update it and send memos and tell us all.
Yeah, and once we do have all of our questions answered and we're able to confirm the schedule, we will send out a mass communication to you all, so you will know we're definitely moving forward with this, and we'll need access to your phones to make this happen. And, you know, like I say, hopefully this will help a lot of the issues that we've been experiencing with Comcast. Yes, ma'am.
We have a TiVo box. Is that what you mean by DVR box?
Right. Is that working?
Yep.
Okay, working with the Comcast service. Okay. As long as that's working and you want to keep it, I mean, yeah, we wouldn't touch that.
Wayne, can you repeat that so everybody knows what she was asking?
Yeah, so she was asking if she has a TiVo box or recording currently that's working. Does she, you know, keep that? And the answer is yes. We don't want to mess with anything that's, you know, working currently, you know, recording files. It did not come out right. Yeah.
Some of us also get our internet from Comcast. Will this affect the modems?
Yeah, so that was one of the other questions that we're gonna need addressed from them. You know, if you are a direct customer of Comcast, if you're not, you know, getting your service through the bulk TV account that we have with Comcast, then, you know, what do we do in your situation? You know, are we planning on replacing those boxes? Or are we just leaving you guys alone? Can you work with them directly if you need a cable box replacement? So,
No sweat.
yeah. Thanks, bro.
I was wondering if WPN is going to work.
I believe you're down on,
And so.
yeah. So we do still have some coverage issues in some places. That's another project that we've been working on to try to get better coverage. Again, before I got here, you know, they did a map and, I don't think, you know, it wasn't done really well and not all the areas were really covered well. So we are looking at that as well, maybe adding some additional wireless access points or readjusting some, moving them around so we've got better coverage for everybody. Good question, thank you.
You know, I had a real runaround with Comcast in the last week, and I must have spent about 4 hours on the phone with them. And it wasn't, the box I get through Kendall was fine, but I have another box, and I wasn't getting a bunch of TV stations, and they said finally that my box was obsolete. And after a long discussion, they said they'd have to replace it. So instead of sending me one, they sent me 3. And then they were going to charge me $61 and some odd cents. And they told me that Kendall was no longer paying for the box they supplied, and they would be charging me for that one too. And then the box they sent me didn't work, and so I called them again, and they said it didn't work because the remote was, no, they sent somebody actually to my house, and he looked at it and he said the remote that I had no longer worked with the new box, and they would have to replace the remote. And finally, he took all the boxes they sent me back, gave me still a different box, and a remote that went with that box. So I guess I have a couple of questions. One is,
Should I talk to the Comcast will not call them? Can you talk to that a little bit? Like, they should not be, well, I'll talk to it. Comcast you should not be communicating directly with Comcast. So if there's a Comcast issue, please let Wade know. But they should not be sending you separate boxes or anything. That should go through the staff, because that's a great way for issues to open up. Okay?
Yeah, so it's, I don't know, let's finish, I'm sorry, but just to bring some clarity around that, again, back to, you know, if you have service directly from Comcast, now that's a little different. So you would call Comcast directly. But if you are under the resident bulk account for TV, then definitely you will want to call us first.
even if it's the box that Kendall isn't supplying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you have a direct, like, you
You know, I
know,
have one box through the bulk account and one box I pay $10 a month for.
okay,
And it was the one that I paid myself for that I was having problems with.
okay. In your case, then definitely just call us, let us get involved, let us get our account rep on the phone. And we'll,
Okay,
you
but
know, work through it.
it's not true that we have to pay an extra $10 a month from now on.
So the $10 a month would be for an extra box, like you want
They
a
told me
second
that
box?
I also would need, from now on, you change the policy and I would have to pay $10 for the box you supply and $10 for the one.
No, that's
And I
not
said
true.
I didn't think that was true, but I talked to 3 different people and they told me that.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Kendall supplies one box for every resident. Beyond that, if you want a secondary box, then there, you know, you have to have an account, you know, and it's extra $10 a month. If you want DVR service, that's an extra, so you have to sign up with them.
So another related question is, they supply us with a new box. I hope they'll supply us with a remote that works with it.
Yes, they should, yes. But that's a good point that you bring up, and that's a lot of stuff that we've been wrestling with ourselves with them. So we're hoping, you know, that we're getting on a better foot with them. You know, just sharing our frustrations with them, because we're nearing the end of our contract and we got to renew. So, you know, they need to assure us that, you know, a lot of these issues will be taken care of.
She even told me that the cable stations I wasn't getting, I shouldn't get, it wasn't on our contract. It was, you know.
Okay,
I couldn't get 811, for example.
interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can follow up with you.
And anyway, if my box was obsolete, there are probably a lot of other people that may end up having that problem. I've only been here 5 years.
Right, right. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Where does Infinity come into this equation?
I'm sorry, so Comcast Xfinity,
The same
they're, right, all the same. off stages. I think we've got some other stuff to cover. So thank you all. If you've got, questions or, TV issues, like Erica said, please reach out to us. Let us get involved, to take care of it. Thank you.
How long you ready to do your?
Good morning. Well, every year the council appoints a nominating committee to select the officers for next year's residence council. And this year, besides myself, but Helen Staley, John McGran, Mary James Fulton, and Betty Reed were on the council. And it's easy to get people to agree to serve on the nominating council, because if you look at the bylaws, section F, article 4, subsection 2.1, the fourth line down, it says members of the nominating committee cannot nominate themselves to serve on the residence council. So that allows us to serve without worrying about being nominated to serve on the council. So the first thing we did when we met, we looked at the 200 residents who are eligible to serve on the council. And we eliminated those who had previously served on the council. And then we eliminated those who recently arrived and don't know what the resident council is or does. And then we eliminated those who have been here for a long time and they know what the residence council is and the work they have to perform. And we knew they would not accept to be nominated. And then we eliminated those residents whose names we couldn't even pronounce anyway, or those who we haven't even seen around campus for the last 3 or 4 months. And so we came up with a list of about 37 residents that we could consider for next year. And so after much discussion and forethought and pre-thought and not much thought at all, we came up with 7 people who will serve on next year's residence council. So if you will come forward when I ask your name, Lee Henkel will serve her second term, her second year as the president. Bob Harrison has agreed to serve as the vice president. Jane Comstock has agreed to serve as secretary. Linda Dwyer has agreed to continue to serve as treasurer. Pam Adams will serve as the member at large. Lou Magari will continue to serve as member at large. And Anita James will serve as a member at large. Now you can see we're missing Bob Harrison. He decided to fly to Germany this week, so he's not available, but he's trying to cancel all his contracts over there to make sure he's available to serve us for the next 2 years without having to go overseas. Malou, you're supposed to stand over here. No, you're still on, She tried to get out of serving next year, but I convinced her before the meeting that she would serve. And Pam Adams is not here. Pam Adams had to visit a sick aunt in Delaware, but I was talking to her husband Jim and found out that Pam doesn't have an aunt in Delaware, nor is she sick. Well, I don't know where Pam Adams is, but she's not here today, but hopefully she'll show up starting in January. So these are the members who will serve on the council this coming year. Now you don't have to, we're not voting on it this month. Next month at the annual meeting, we will present the same council members and ask you for a consensus of approval for these people to serve. And I want to warn you, if anybody objects to any of these members serving on the council for next year, there's a pending amendment to the bylaws which says that any resident who voices an objection to the slate of candidates for the coming year will automatically be appointed to serve on that council for next year. So I don't expect to see many objections. But these are the ones that will serve you next year, and we'll present them formally to you at our annual meeting next month. Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. Good job to the nominating committee.
We have a lot of activities coming up in the upcoming time. I have circled the different ones that I wanted to announce to you. This is October and this is November. And I'm delighted with all the suggestions that the committee and some of you have put forth for different activities that we're going to do. Tomorrow, we have a trip to Poplar Forest, and I think it filled up in 2 days. So I want to remind you of that. It was so popular that I think the C&E committee will put another trip on in the spring. So if you were not able to get on this one, we'll repeat it. We have some other things that have signed up, and I have not yet put up that WNL is going to have their fall concert sign up. So I'll get that up after the meeting so you can sign up for that. Those that are riding the bus will have a ticket. And if you want to go to it, yourself, you need to get a free ticket for that. And as always, the WNL events, most of them, but not all, you need to buy your own ticket for those different things. We are going to have a talk about the Big Springs Cemetery, which is out off of 60 going west. They have been working on the cemetery. They are finding some of the gravestones in this ancient cemetery that are under the dirt, and it has an interesting history. So we look forward to that talk on the 24th. We also have scheduled another BMI parade trip. Those that have not ever seen a parade, or even if you have, it's always an impressive sight to go up on the parade ground and to see one of these events with about 1,000 military people on the field. We're going to have an interesting dining out at Gertie's later in the month. Gertie's is a place that is in Vesuvius, and according to some people who've dined there, it's unique. It's sort of a family place that continues existing. Great hamburgers, I've heard, but we're going to give it a try. We'd like to try to think of going different places for people to dine out round and about in the county. So keep going, Elaine, and the rest of the crew for finding interesting places. There are some Kendall colleges coming up, and Hardin will tell you about those. In November, we're going to start Sunday streaming. During the fall or during the summer, Vic was having some outdoor things over at Sunnyside Patio. And starting in November, he'll have some Sunday streaming at 6:30 here, so you can check and see which event you might want to go to. On Friday the 1st, we will be having, it's a Friday, the Marlboro Trio from Washington and Lee is going to be having their 20th anniversary concert on Sunday, but they will come here and perform here in Kendall Hall. It is wonderful to hear live music, and they always perform. Julia Gadanova is on the cello, and Jamie and Tim Gaylord is the pianist this time instead of Anna. Another thing on the menu is the Collier's Town Dinner. This is a typical event that takes place here. I don't know how long it's been going on. They serve turkey, ham, and oyster cakes. And the church puts it on for the benefit of that. And if you haven't been to one of those, you might want to try it. That's on Saturday the 2nd. For election day on November 5th, I think we're all aware that that's going to be happening. We will be having a bus that goes there. And if you need more information about it, in the L code, there is information about the elections. You're voting in the city, there's one set of candidates because there's different positions. And if you vote in the county, there's another set. So keep your eye posted if you want to ride on the bus, or if you want to go and vote either in the city or in the county beforehand, you can do that. On the 7th, there are a lot of things here. On the 7th, the Marshall Legacy Talk will continue. We're going to have a bus go to that. And right after that, there's a jazz concert and big band concert at WNL. So the same bus driver will drop off one set of people and then pick up some more to go over to WNL. We are going to be able to see the Rockbridge Ballet Young Dancers here on the stage on Saturday the 9th. They're going to do a ballet concert that they're going to be doing at Snow White, I believe, at the Lenfest Center, and so they're gonna come here and perform that morning at 10 o'clock. At WNL Theater, they're going to perform Hamlet, 50-50 they call it, which is they perform some of the Hamlet lines, but they are doing it from the perspective of a rehearsal. And the director has agreed to come here before the performance to describe why it is that she chose this play, how she's going to stage it, and so on. And she's bringing along 3 of the students who are participating, who have roles in the play. So I'm so glad that we're able to have that kind of interaction to see how they can go about making a play like that. And then on the 14th, the Virginia Wildlife Center is going to be coming here with some animals that they have taken care of. They, at the Virginia Wildlife Center has about, I think it's 4,000 animals that they help during the year. And we thought with the recent talks that we had about the wildlife on our campus, a couple of the people on the committee wanted to have a program so we can learn more about the animals and how we can live with these animals. So they'll come on the 14th. And we found out that Southern Virginia University is having another one of their plays. They always do such a good job. So we will be planning on going there on Friday the 15th. On Saturday the 16th, we're going to have a social mingle over at Sunnyside House, and that will be from 6:30 to 8. Just come and have a good time and mingle with some fellow residents. And on the 19th, we have a bus scheduled to go to see Hamlet, 50-50. So, any questions? It's a lot. I thank the committee so much for helping to get all of this together and then getting the information so that you know more about it into the newsletter. So we keep working on it. If you have some ideas for a program, we really do welcome them because it makes for interesting programs for all of us. Thanks.
Is that it? Oh, she's got something to show us.
Good morning. Back to remind you about the holiday craft fair, which will happen on December 6th and 7th here in Kendall Hall. We've had a number of workshops to make some things to sell at the hands-on table. This little fella being one of them. And so that in the hands-on table, as you remember from last year, we donate all the proceeds to the Staff Appreciation Fund. So we'd like you to come and see all the things that we've made for that. And people have donated some things that they've made for that also. He's lost. We have a whole platoon of those things. What can be seen? Back in September, we asked you folks to help us out with the craft show, arts and craft show, because there's so many talented people here. We've had a lot of response. We have a good number of vendors all signed up, but there's always room for more. So if you would like to sign up and make something for us, or something to donate to the hands-on table, or something for yourself to sell for yourself, see me afterwards so I can give you a sign-up sheet. Thank you.
And here comes Hardin for Kendall College.
Am I talking to this or talking to just talking? Oh, you don't understand. And I can see all this incorrectly. You can talk anyway. Today, we reached the pinnacle of Kendall College programs for 2024. This afternoon is the first of 5 consecutive Wednesday afternoons on which we will bring you a splendid presentation. This afternoon, at the usual 4:30 time, right here at Kendall Hall, Bob Strong will be back here to give you the second of his 3 talks on the 2024 presidential election. It's called The Fall Forecast. Then on the 3 following Wednesdays, October 23, October 30, and November 6, the ever-popular Tim Gaylord will present a series of 3 programs on American composers: Louis Moreau Gottschalk, Scott Joplin, and George Gershwin. The last of the 5 Wednesdays, November 13th, features Bob Strong's finale on the election, What It Might Mean. For all of these programs, I urge you to get here to Kendall Hall a bit earlier than usual to claim a seat. These 2 professors have been our biggest Kendall College draws. A year ago, Tim Gaylord set a record attendance of 100, delivering the 100th Kendall College set of programs. Then Bob Strong set a new record this past August with his first lecture on the election. 110 were here in Kendall Hall for that program. And then after this series of 5 programs, Kendall College will give you a vacation for the Thanksgiving and Christmas seasons, or returning in 2025 for more. Any questions? We'd be delighted to know that I'm the last speaker.
Thank you. And who is the last on the agenda? Is there anything that needs to come up from the community? No, then we are done for October. See you in November.